Marion, Me and a Remarkable Find. It was a dark summer evening, 1991, stranded on Route 11, north to Keswick, Simcoe County. We were a rally of 3 cars and 12 friends anxious to finding our party. Forget about the map, we needed a lucky streak to help us find it, is all I remember saying. Marion and I were headed to the Jack and Jill where the new bride and groom, John and Mary, were preparing for a wedding only 3 days later. The drive-in was looking more than just a little dicey, but finally at the summit of the single-car gravel road, the light of hope and only dimly viewable between the deep evergreen of pine and needle-thick bush. We arrived unscathed. Finally 8 p.m. was feeling little like 10. I just wanted my drink. In a hurry. The dim light pointing at a sign on the side of the road was our last chance and all we had to go on. Without it, we were lost. What in tarnations was I doing here? We arrived and all I wanted was that beer, which evidently was the only carrot that kept me sane. The fundraising was for Marion's good friend, and as for myself, I was simply in it for the ride. We entered and the place was crowded, filled with friends and no cash bar. Draughts, if you can imagine. I was saying a lot more than just draughts. We found ourselves at a fundraising mock casino, and after a few minutes of catching our breath, we stood with all this extra cash and with at least one place to spend at the casino chips. Soft drinks were free, good lord. We generously exchanged our $50 for chips as a gesture of good luck and thanks to the bride and groom. After making our rounds, we stopped at the blackjack table, where history for myself was made, a remarkable blackjack find and my 14-year quest ever since. A few chips and we were going to make the best of the night. Right off the first hand, we sat with high spirits. Marion and I, we were an item, and yet almost 14 years now since seeing her again. I sure hope she's doing fine. We entered on a high note and it was my first time ever at a blackjack table. Actually, it was my first time ever betting chips. Right off the bat, I said to Marion, what if I could call my wins and my losses precisely? The rule of the game is that everyone wins, I said. What system can I design that will allow for everyone else to win and yet know without a doubt call it when I was going to win? We tried with a few hits, won our first one. Then the second, then lost the third. I said, okay, I lost big on the third, but let's make this a rule now. We bet high on 2 and bet low on the subsequent 2. Let's try that, I said. And we did, and it worked, for the first, second, third, fourth and fifth and up to the next 9 hits. We tweaked it some more and allowed others a bigger chance to win. All Marion and I wanted was a sure win on 2 5 times. By that time, we were getting good at betting higher on 2 of the 5 hits and lower on the 3 of the remaining 5 hits. If you think of it, we were actually playing to win 5 out of 5. A knowledge of a loss on 3 out of the 5 hits meant that we won knowing when to bet low and when to bet high. We eventually got so good that I typically betted 50% of our pot on our turn to win, and while betting the lowest we could on the 3rd, 4th and 5th hits with 1 trip only each of these times. What ended up happening was, we played the rule of 2 versus 3 out of 5 hits prior to starting the next cycle of 2 versus 3 out of 5 hits. In total we played, from what I could remember, was a total of 9 cycles of 5 hits. That meant 35 total hits with a guarantee high or low betting system that gave us the maximum return each time. Betting low of 1 chip when we called it as not our turn to win, and betting very high on the 2 turns that we called it ours to win. It worked. With 3 players plus a dealer, we were playing maybe 2 to 3 minutes each hand. 2 minutes times 45 hits equals 90 minutes of play. In 90 minutes, Marion and I had won every table chip, and unfortunately, since it was a Jack and Jill, we ended up giving them up anyways. 90 minutes of knowing when we were going to win or lose, and without fail our system was real and evident in the chips and amid the crowd of excitement we collected that evening. The only time I remember our system falling apart was when I wasn't focused on the 2 versus 3 of 5 game, and only for a brief few seconds, but instead found myself counting the horde of chips in front of me. The game of 2 versus 3 of 5 was lost. Game over. Our luck completed. A week earlier, Marion and I just completed a seminar promising anything possible, if only applying a few simple rules. The course taught us an old world abundance of wealth creating rules, and we thought best try our luck to see if this could work with blackjack. And it did. Our system, if you could read between the lines, you'll see that we never played for greed, and we always gave room for others to win. In hindsight, since it was a charity casino, the element of greed was non-existent, and the element of aggressive competition gone. And one even more, was we were out to prove to win for the benefit of someone else, not just ourselves. In this simple game, I felt I had all the ground rules needed to make this blackjack routine repeatable. After 14 years, I proved again and again as I did so 10 years later. Trying my luck at a dinner party of 12 women, 9 out of 12 got 21 on the first hand while one got 22. As a result, this is what she thought she needed to get. In essence, they all, 10 of 12 women, got exactly what they asked for. It was astounding. And even since and up until now, I have repeated again and again, one-on-one for almost every other friend. With the advent of newer ideas introduced, I have finally come up with this manuscript for you to study and make your own. Bottom line is, as an engineer, I have sold this system to myself. And if you know engineers, it's pretty hard to sell them anything. If it wasn't for my original dare to dream, this manuscript would have never been written. All I wish to say now is please, read this manuscript well, and please be patient. There are life lessons in this script that go beyond success in blackjack, and as you will see in my next section, you'll see the remarkable successes that have unfolded for me in the past 14 years of sheer luck and remarkable unexplained business successes captured. What did I do? What started my frenzy lucky streak? Honestly, it started with a game. A dare, sort of speak, and an attempt at playing the kid's game of expecting and dreaming. While waiting for the cards to be dealt, I hinted to Marion of a fantastic plan. Like glue on paper, she was on my side. We played our luck and streamlined our strategy. We decided to lose a few but win the ones we declared were ours to win. Quite honestly, we stole the show, winning huge and beating the dealer of all his chips that lasted 90 minutes while starting with a simple $5 bet. There wasn't a single player at that table that didn't stand in awe, watching our every enormous win and minuscule loss. Our pot grew to over $1,600 in a combined win and loss sequence that only took us 90 minutes to rack up. What did we do? What did we say? Why, did we have the time of our life? For years I have shared this reoccurring result with friends, and now it is your turn. Thank you for being here and welcome. That is my story, but really, it is the beginning of my journey that has brought me to a remarkable 16 years of similar successes and amazement everywhere else in my life.